The train souvenirs from Budapest 2025 have a 70% ROI. Dust 2, 49. Same system, but with a massive discrepancy in how much you're expected to earn back when opening one. So why is this collection printing money, but this other one isn't? Well, there's one not talked about too much variable that separate the collections that are going to stay in the long term and the collections that are going to disappear. And once you see it, you can't really unsee it. Welcome back to Debate. I'm your host, Mike Water9. This is where we talk about community speculation and, anything broad, general about the future of the CS2 market. As always, scan the QR code right here if you'd like to submit one of your own ideas. This one was actually messaged to me on Twitch. It wasn't on this QR code, but it was such an interesting idea. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I had to make a video about this one. So let us set the stage. One of the first overhauls we received in CS2 was the active drop pool. One of these reasons was to get rid of the old CSGO models. And to their credit, they did a very thorough job. Lake, Italy, Dust 2, Safe House, Inferno, and Nuke 2018 all removed from the active drop pools and replaced with new ones. They are continuing to phase out cases, removing Fracture, and taking away Anubis from the in-game store. And there is, of course, other reasons beyond these variables. The new drops themselves actually look good and provide an incentive to play more, come back week over week, try your shot at getting your, exclusive, cool, shiny weekly drop. And because these skins have actual demand, they don't trend to zero either. Because Inferno, Nuke, Safe House, Lake, they did have CSGO models, but they also have something else in common. More specifically, Anubis, Inferno, and Nuke. Because these three are going to reveal a lot about the future and what's to come and what's to be removed in CS2. Because all these collections, Lake, Safe House, Nuke, Inferno, Anubis, they all have something in common beyond just having CSGO models. But we'll come back to that. To give us more background, let's talk about Souvenirs. That'll give us a lot more data to work with. Souvenir skins, as you probably know, are not the most highly sought after skins in the game by any means. The odds are somewhat similar to the Armory in some cases and worse than the Armory in other cases. You can't trade them up, so there's a lot of oversupply of the lower tier weapons, which leads to chronic saturation of the market and thus super low prices and low ROI. Historically, ROI has always been in the gutter with these things, and that's independent of the collection's aesthetics themselves. But nowadays, the landscape has kind of changed a little bit. Some ROIs aren't in the gutter anymore. In fact, some of them are doing actually quite well. So we need to figure out why some are performing well now. Why is there a difference in performance? Here are the top 5 souvenir packages ranked in terms of ROI when unboxing. At number 1, Budapest Train, 70% ROI. 2, Budapest Overpass, 68.5% ROI. Then there's a drop. Austin 2025 Train, 55%. Austin 2025 Mirage, 49%. Austin 2025 Dust 2, 45%. Now, yes, those discontinued collections, Inferno, Nuke, and Anubis, they have inflated ROI right now because they've just been discontinued and that hype is still riding there. But that's merely noise. We have to ignore that for the sake of the data. We can expect those to trend down just like all of the other collections that are not really highly sought after, but just discontinued. Right? At the end of the day, the skins still have zero utility. The odds are still terrible and most of them are ugly. So we'll ignore those. And what we're left with is a nearly 25-point gap between the best performing ROI case and the worst performing ROI case out of the top 5. So what's going on here? The first thing you'd point to is price, right? Well, the Budapest capsules are locked at $3 and the Austin Dust 2 one is, $3.70. So that's going to hurt ROI. Sure. But Dust 2 Austin packages are $3.70. That's roughly 16% more than the $3 price point for trains. Yet the ROI difference is not 16%. Train has a nearly 40% more ROI than Dust 2. If it was to be proportional in price, you should expect Budapest to be, 55, 57% max. But even though it's not in the top 5, we can look at the Budapest Dust 2 package and it's 45% ROI. So there is a stark difference here. If price were the only variable here, then we'd be a lot closer than we actually are in reality. This gap in ROI is not a pricing story. So price explains some of it, but definitely not all of it. Well, then maybe it's the jackpot skins. Maybe this train collection just has an ROI because it has better chances of getting the high ticket items. Better ceiling, better return, right? So we go check the stats. The AK Gold Arabesque has a 1 in 3,700 chance of dropping in a souvenir package. One of the rarest skins to unbox in the game. The Oblong Dog from the Train collection is only 1 in 780. So in general, not including wear, it's 5 times easier to get the Long Dog. So that should hurt ROI, right? If the Gold Arabesque is 5 times as rare, it should reward you by having the higher ROI, but it doesn't. So how? How does a package with a 5 times rarer jackpot still return worse than one with 5 times easier odds? Well, that's simple. The ceiling doesn't matter if your floor is fundamentally broken. It doesn't matter how rare your Gold Arabesque is if most of your pulls are going to be 3-cent consumer grade skins that no one wants to use or buy or unbox. The Dust 2 package with its super high end skins still can't win because it has 96% of dead weight consuming the package. The floor matters much more than the ceiling. So we've got collections old and new with nearly identical structures, but a 25-point ROI gap. Something else is different, and what's different is what Valve has been using to remove collections in CS2 so far. The difference is consumer grade skins. If you don't know what those are, color-wise, they are gray, the worst possible skin you can receive. Today's video has been sponsored by the lovely ladies and gentlemen over at skinsmonkey.com. Skinsmonkey is the industry standard trading forum and marketplace for anything and all things Counter-Strike. 24/7 support and an instant trading system so fast, those Bulgarian overpay goblins are sure to go out of business. Now, if that's not enough incentive, throw my code Mike in on the website for $5 off on your first trade. But if you trade up to $100 on the website, they'll double your bonus from 5 to 10. Now, if you don't have any skins and I just gave you some free game on investment advice, you could deposit money and use the website as a marketplace as well. In that case, my code Mike will net you a 5% deposit bonus, bringing it from 30 to 35%. So go get swagged out, courtesy of skinsmonkey.com. Now, the active drop skins still have grays. You're absolutely right. But Valve is systematically removing them from map collections and subsequently armory collections because we can expect all new map collections to hit the armory and souvenir cases. Because we can reasonably expect Valve to release the map collections in the armory and then in souvenirs and have them coexist, right? As they've done with Train and Overpass thus far. Right? These map collections with their bloated bottom tiers, they destroy ROI and they destroy demand for souvenir openings. Because the bottom 2 tiers are grays and light blues, well, you have a 96% chance of pulling 8 cents on average. And it's not like we're using the armory here. You just get the skin. You can't do anything beyond it. You can't trade it up. You can either use it or sell it. Now, your new collections like Train and Overpass, well, they only have an 80% chance of light blues, with grays completely gone. 16% that used to be for light blues now belongs to the mil-spec regular blues. And now you can see your floor ROI is much higher. And while the light blues still exist in Train and Overpass and they're not perfect and they do pull ROI down to a degree, it's not nearly as egregious as it was in Dust 2, Mirage, Vertigo, the old collections, but it's still much better considering it's just light blues and not grays and light blues. That's 2 full tiers, 96% chance of garbage. Now it's 80%. It's much easier path to getting returns in souvenir packages. And this is why people are opening the Train souvenir package despite it being in the armory for half the price. When you're not pulling gray trash all the time, it feels worth it. Obviously, Lake, Italy, Safe House, the old Dust 2 collection, these all had a bunch of consumer skins. They're gone. Inferno and Nuke, 2018, consumer grades, gone. Anubis, consumer grades, gone. Every collection that's been removed has been with consumer grades. Every collection added beyond the active drops, right? We could disregard those because they're no longer doing map collections and active drops. All new map collections have 0 consumer grade items. This is not a coincidence. This is a pattern that we must follow if we want to be able to predict anything that Valve does in the future, right? We have to think of Valve as a business. They are a business, and this makes the most business sense. They added charms, which gives you a little bit of a bonus, not much, but whatever. And they structurally made ROI better. They forced ROI to be better. There's going to be more openings, so there's going to be more people purchasing the packages themselves from the Valve store. So, boom, $3 a piece. High ROI, more demand, higher prices on the secondary markets. Valve takes 15% of every single sale on the Steam market. So they're not just randomly deleting collections. They have a plan to systematically make ROI better, subsequently making them more money. They're optimizing Souvenirs to be better, which is a good thing, I guess. If Valve is removing cases with consumers to increase ROI across Souvenir collections, and that's exactly what the data shows, then the next targets are obvious. Dust 2 and Mirage. And I know what you're thinking, Desert Hydra, Gold Arabesque. They should be able to carry the collections themselves outright, but we saw that they can't. The ROI is in the trash. These collections need overhauls. It's been years anyway. Train 2021 has been replaced with Train 2025. Dust 2 and Mirage, we can realistically expect to be next. These are fan favorite maps. I don't see it going any other way. And if this is true, we're going to see an Anubis 2026 collection real soon. And if it holds up, Anubis is not going to have any consumer skins. It's going to be just like the other collections in the armory. Light blue, blue, purple, pink, red. And they're going to absolutely cake the fuck up with those packages. Same logic applies to Inferno and Nuke. Those have been around forever. We should expect new collections for both, hopefully this month. It'd be in their best interest. And if Vertigo ever came back in the map pool, which I hope to God it doesn't, it's not going to be that Vertigo 2021 collection anymore. So if this all comes to plan and in due time, we're going to have a completely different Souvenir market. ROI would be good. It would be worth it to open Souvenirs. There wouldn't be a bunch of trash everywhere, and people might actually just use them. So there's your thesis. Valve removed consumers from the Train and Overpass collections. It's worked, and now they're going to follow suit with every other collection in the game. Dust 2, Mirage, Ancient, these have to be next after Inferno, Nuke, and Anubis. And then Souvenirs become an actual viable market. If you think I'm wrong, scan the QR code, leave your opinions there. I'd love to read them and check them out. Or debate with me on Twitch, where I'll be live in a few hours after this video is posted. I'll leave the details in the comments below. Other than that, peace.